My name's Drew, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to become a fitness model.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Welcome back to the video, and today I'm going to give you 3 steps to becoming a fitness model. Step 1 will be preparing, number 2 will be applying, and 3 will be excelling. But if you haven't yet done so and subscribed to the channel, I'd encourage you to do so, because I drop a new video every week about fitness entrepreneurship. So step number 1 is preparing. As a fitness model, you need to be in shape, and sometimes that's easier said than done. But finding a nutrition plan that helps you stay in shape 24/7 is going to mean you get more jobs, because bloating and bulking, that's unemployment. So here's a few suggestions on meal plans or nutrition plans that you can follow. There can be like a low carb keto type diet. You don't have to worry about your carbs and what's going to happen when you eat carbs. Or you can carb cycle, so you can go from the days that you're doing a photo shoot, you might have lower carbs, and then the days you're not, you're upping the carbs. You can also do intermittent fasting, so maybe if your photo shoot is in the morning, you could just fast up until when it's done, and then you could have your meal. Or you could have smaller meals before the shoot, even during the shoot, and then after the shoot you could have bigger meals. So maybe you could have one small meal, breakfast, lunch, then when you finish the shoot you could either have another small meal, then have a big meal at night, or you could just have your big meal after your photo shoot. But for most people, there's still going to be some struggles around that, trying to get in the best shape possible. That's why I encourage you to invest into a coach, someone who has experience working with fitness models or bodybuilders. And invest is the key word, because you're investing into yourself. You see this as your future, and if you do get in the industry and you do get book jobs, you'll make that money back straight away. Step number 2, applying. You've put all the hard work in, you're looking great, but how do you become a fitness model? By doing a free photo shoot. But how do you find a photographer that's willing to do that? It's called a TFP, which is basically a photo shoot where you both get to use the images. He gets to use your images for his photography portfolio, and you get to use the images of yourself for your modeling portfolio. And a portfolio is just a file of photos. But how do you find a photographer that's willing to do a TFP? Because most well-known photographers are getting paid for photo shoots, and they're pretty much not willing to do a TFP. But that doesn't mean that the photographer that is willing to do the TFP has any less skills or has any less of a service to offer than the photographer that is getting paid. Because maybe that photographer was in fashion, he has a fashion portfolio, and now he's moving into fitness. So how do you find a photographer? Social media, hashtags. I live in Sydney, for example, Sydney, Australia. So I might type in Sydney photographer, find some photographers, reach out to them. Hey, would you like to do a TFP? Another option is casting sites. A casting site is basically a site for freelance models and actors, and a client or a person will put on a job, and the models and actors can apply for that job. So let's say a photographer put the job on, I'm looking for a model to do a TFP with this look, these measurements, and you fit that look, you applied, he chose you. That's another way you can do a TFP. And if you don't, then look, I paid for my first photo shoot for my modeling portfolio, and it was worth it, because I saw the future. I saw that it was worth the investment. And unless you could do a TFP and great images, you could pay for a photo shoot and get crappy images. So it's about doing your research. TFP, you've booked it in, it's coming up, but you've never stood in front of a camera before. Maybe you have, but the photos didn't turn out too well. So it's about doing your research about how you can hold different looks. Like, what are you trying to portray with your look? How are you shading your eyes? Where's your chin? Are you clenching your jaw? Is your mouth open? Are you smiling? How's your body language? Because as we know, body language is a huge percentage of communication. If it's fitness modeling, your abs, exhaling, pulling the rib cage down. Which side are you better on? So doing some research into looks. You know, YouTube has plenty of tutorials on modeling poses, but if you want me to make a video, just leave a comment down below. Take some inspiration from some of the Instagram models that you follow, or some of the photos of the photographer that you're going to shoot with. Have a look at what sort of look he's going for and how he's shooting. Grooming, okay? Because if you show up to a photo shoot and you've got bloodshot eyes, you've got nose hairs, you've shaved and there's marks on your face, that's just more work for the photographer to do. And if you can show up and give your best and make as less effort or as less ongoing effort for the photographer, i.e. like Photoshop, editing, then he's going to remember you. And if he gets booked for a job and gets told to find a model, and he thinks to himself, which model did I enjoy working with? And that was the easiest to work with. And then that's when word of mouth happens. Okay, that's when you start excelling, which we're going to jump into in step number 3. So coming back to grooming, I'm constantly just trying to keep a tan up. Okay, I'm lucky enough, Sydney, Australia. If the sun comes out, I'm out there. But it's that consistency. You know, I'm not having to sit in the sun for hours because I'm pale, because I'm keeping it up. But if you live somewhere that doesn't have much sun, you're going to have to get a spray tan. I'm sorry, you've got to let go of whatever you have conceptualized about men doing spray tans. But if you want to excel in this industry and you want to look the best you can, then a tan is imperative. And the way you do that is you just have to accept it. You know, if you're paled skin and it's hard for you to get a tan, then maybe you have to go get a spray tan. And if I do have to get a spray tan, I find someone that has experience with fitness models or bodybuilders, because then they can make the lines, they can define you better when they're spray tanning you. So haircut, day beforehand, like I said, because if you get a bad haircut the day of, there's not much you can do if you've got to go to the photo shoot in an hour. So I know my barber, I know he does a relatively good job. That's sorted. Coming down, monobrow, can't be happening. Eyes, eye drops, so you don't have bloodshot eyes. Again, that's more work for the photographer to do. If you have bloodshot eyes, nose hairs, gotta go. What I do with my teeth is I do oil pulling. So let's say I have a photo shoot midday, I will do oil pulling in the morning after breakfast, and that helps me. So that's just putting coconut oil in your mouth for 20 to 30 minutes. That helps keep my teeth white. Is you'll see a lot of people, they have thickness here and a very thin beard here. So what I do is, let's say I'm using like a 3 on the dial. If I do a 3 here, I do a 2.5 here, and that helps keep my beard length consistent. From there, I just get the razor, shave up here, I go up. I've noticed if I go down, I'll get, you know, ingrowns, red dots around my neck, shaving rash. And then what I do, I get a cutthroat razor, lift my skin up, and then just line the beard up. Both sides, boom, that's done. Working the way down, body hair, gotta go, okay? Again, lose all those conceptions you have, all those beliefs about shaving, about tanning. This is the industry. When you shave, you're going to notice so much more definition. I'm lucky enough to get enough sun and salt water, so I don't really get much pimples or ingrowns. But if I do, well, I do this regardless. So I try to get some salt water before I shave, get rid of the dead skin, exfoliate, moisturize. And the following days, I just try to make sure that I'm keeping any dirt out from getting ingrown hairs. So that's basically grooming, quickly done. But if you want a more in-depth video on what I do, how I do it, what I use, be sure to leave a comment. I say this every time. Be sure to just let me know in the comment section. Basically from there, you need to think about, yeah, you saw me looking down at my notes. Caught out red-handed. Okay, agency. Then from there, you've got the photos, you're looking great, things are going well. But how do you get work? If you're lucky enough to have a good social media following, you can apply, you can reach out to brands, but I'd even recommend this regardless. If you do have a good social media following, find an agency. If you don't have a good social media following, find an agency. But then what do you do to apply for an agency? Start Googling, like Google your area again. So for example, Sydney, Australia, Sydney modeling agencies. Have a look through their websites. If they're taking on everyone, you're competing with everyone. Most well-known good agencies don't take on too many people. Have a look at their agency. Have a look what look they're going for. If it's that skinny sort of model look, feel free, send them an email. They might accept you, but you know, there's no harm in sending a lot of emails out and then being able to choose. But just be aware of that they probably won't accept you, and don't get disheartened if they don't, because that's the look they're going for. That's their clientele. Also, if you find an agency that does have your look, but there's 10 other guys that have, for example, me, blonde hair, blue eyes, 6 foot, then they're going to be sending, let's say a client wants blonde hair, blue eyes, 6 foot, all their blonde hair, blue eyes, 6 foot guys to the casting. So I'm competing with those 10 other guys. But if I find an agency that doesn't have my look or doesn't have your look, boom, you're going to be landing a lot more gigs. So you find the agency, you email them, they write to you back, they say, come in. Remember to send them your measurements, so waist, chest, that's good enough for now, height, profile photo from your photo shoot, your modeling, a link to your modeling portfolio. Don't send them all your images because it'll just go to junk, or it'll be a huge file. Google Drive it, okay, or whatever, Dropbox. Then from there, send them the images, you come in, you show up, give them the great personality, they put you on the books. Now you're fitness modeling. But how can you get more bookings? How can you excel in the industry? And as a fitness model, and just doing fitness modeling, you'll know that it becomes inconsistent, like the work is sporadic. So you might need to get a part-time job. But then if you have a part-time job and you get a call and they say, come to the casting tomorrow or today, which is what happens. They're last minute. They come in, not just castings, but can you show up for this photo shoot tomorrow? And you've got work. You're just going to be missing out on more. You're just going to be missing out on more. So that's why I encourage you to not only think about becoming a fitness model, but becoming a fitness entrepreneur. Because as a fitness entrepreneur, you work for yourself. So that means if you get a call, you can show up. You work for yourself. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. So step number 3 is excelling. As a fitness model, what's going to make you stand out? What's going to get you the bookings? What's going to continue getting you the bookings? In my opinion, it comes down to your character, your values, and who you choose to be. If you're on set with another model and they're on their phone, just another day at work for them, they don't really care what happens, they don't really care about the shoot, but you bring positive energy, you're helping the photographer, suggesting ideas, you're enjoying yourself, and you're making sure that everyone else is. You're going to be remembered. You're going to stand out. So when that photographer or casting director or the person that owns the brand needs to do another photo shoot, who do you think they're going to pick? They're going to pick you. So, not only excelling in thinking about who you need to be, but also thinking about creating some social proof. Because brands nowadays check your social media and they might make a decision based on if they think you fit their brand, how many social media followers you have. So just pick one platform, just one platform, and maybe start posting some of your photos from some of the shoots you've done, and just giving people advice, not just putting topless photos up. If you do choose to pick Instagram, I have made a video on my 10 top tips. There'll be a link somewhere here. But once you have done that, I'd think about selling something, because as we talked about earlier, it's not just about being a fitness model, it's about being a fitness entrepreneur. You have all this content, all these photos, videos probably, of you modeling, working out, doing a whole bunch of, you've got so much authority in the field already. Use those photos to your advantage. Maybe you do a shoot for, let's say, NutriBullet, okay, and people are asking you about your favorite smoothies or a smoothie before a photo shoot. What do you have? Use that NutriBullet video, which creates authority because you're working for such a major brand. Use that video to promote maybe a free guide you've made, a guide on my top 10 smoothies before a photo shoot. So in summary, number 1 is preparing, getting in the best shape possible to get some photos of yourself. And if that means you have to make a little bit of an investment into a coach, I would encourage you to do so. Step number 2 is applying. You're getting those photos done, you're applying to agencies, you're working your looks, you're doing your grooming, you're getting everything ready to excel. Step number 3, in summary, your values, who you choose to be, character, standing out from the rest of the crowd, putting others first, not criticizing, condemning, or complaining, creating some social proof, using your portfolio, using all these images to then sell something, to then not only be a fitness model, but become a fitness entrepreneur. So now you know exactly what to do to become a fitness model. There are a few free guides I'll link in the description to help you further your career. But if you're interested in really furthering your career and really excelling as not only a fitness model but a fitness entrepreneur, I'm now taking on one-on-one clients. I'm offering a free consultation to anyone that's interested in joining the program. So you'll find some more information in the link in the description.